Viewed up on your end? Yes, okay. All right. Let's go ahead, it's 7 o'clock, let's begin. Let's convene the select board meeting for the town of Hanover, New Hampshire, June 15th, 2026. Agenda review, the items we should consider reordering. Okay, public comments, any members of the public who wish to make a comment? So yeah, you're here for the Howe. Do you want to make another comment besides that? No, okay.
Not refuse to come. That's okay.
That's right.
Let it be known.
Yes, it's going to be in the minutes.
We could move that one up if somebody's here. Maybe said she was parked in on her way, but it's up to you guys.
So we do have a public, does the order of the public hearing matter? Yeah. Okay. So the Howe MOU.
This is a really big agenda.
It's a big agenda, but we are going to go through it so quickly. Keep your head.
Okay.
Okay. This is a very sign to us. Sure. Well, Rob, why don't we, since Ruby is on her way, we'll be here momentarily. Do you want to go to employee recognition? It's totally out of order, but
Your minute taker prefers us to stay on.
okay.
And she is remote in Nashville.
All right, okay, all right.
Yeah, but I think if Ruby comes
If
here.
Ruby comes, we can swap.
Swap, okay.
So, I mean, maybe should we just,
So why don't we go into public hearing? We can suspend the public hearing, I believe, and then we can, yes, so why don't we go into public hearing? The first item, which is the CIPC program. And we have discussed this at the last meeting. It was discussed at town meeting. Rob, do you have any further comments? And there's a short motion in the town agenda, and then there's the longer motion. Do you want to go through the entire longer motion?
I don't, but I do want to just put it up on the screen and make everyone aware that there is a requirement by statute once authorization to adopt CIPC that the board make this finding, and you can refer to it in the motion. With that in mind, unless there's any public opposition, I would encourage the board to move forward with the adoption of CIPC.
Okay. Any questions or comments on the board, on the part of the board? Yeah. Okay. Need a motion?
I'll move to approve the adoption of an formal resolution establishing the CIPC program.
Is there a second? Second. Us, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that is unanimous. Thank you. Right. Rates and fees. Thank you, Alan. And Ruby. So, Ruby, for your benefit and for Sonia's benefit, we are going to reorder the agenda and go into the discussion of the Howe MOU.
Okay.
So let's suspend the public hearing. Consent board. That's okay. And we will move to the Howe Library MOU.
We've got like a whole contingent of the Howe Library.
Yes.
We got 2 more comments.
Everybody's drawing straws. Okay.
Thank you. Rob, do you want to go through this?
Certainly, for respect to the board, tabled action on the MOU until the appendix is finished. We were able to bring closure to discussion on Appendix A. Flaki and Sean in Public Works working with Howe Library, and that will finalize the appendix, and the MOU reflects language as presented at the last meeting, plus the Appendix A. And the Appendix A really outlines the forecast of improvements, town and funding
Through fiscal year 15.
up through fiscal year.
Okay, all right, it's very impressive. Good, okay, thank you. And the biggest piece of which is right up front this year.
Fiscal year 35 is significant. Outlier.
Okay, yeah, the HVAC, yep, okay.
Maybe there'll be a
New technology.
new technology exceptionally affordable for all.
That, where the Howe Corp decides to go, the Geo Exchange.
Tap into like a community system.
Yeah, that's like near the first phase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, whatever.
Just keep going down Crosby Street.
Great.
Well, the other option is actually, I mean, some of the things that are being explored actually. It was online also. The heat exchange from wastewater, it's a coil on a major sewer line. Heat.
Might be, if there's enough showers taken at the house. Start.
So, I mean, in short, it's a pretty significant look at, a horizon to 2050. We believe that this represents the work that should be captured in Appendix A, and this is what we're putting forward for your consideration. Like, let's say anything.
No, we had a great meeting with Peter and Sean. I mean, Peter brought up whether it made sense to even put the price on there, the cost, just because it could vary and change by, I think, I think it's supposed to be 27, 28, but once we're going 30, 40, 50, everything could change drastically, so. But it looks like it's forward into place, so.
It gives you a sense of proportionality.
Yeah.
At least today.
Yeah.
Change in 5 years. Thank you for taking the time to put this together with others. Just a question, is there still a thought about potential building in addition to this, other capital changes? Is that still kind of percolating out there?
In terms of the space planning project, yeah, that's moving forward. It's in the conceptual phase right now. We're hoping to have that something, the first phase completed by the fall, hopefully by October, by our annual meeting, and then review kind of what that project looks like, and obviously a price point as well. That would also be followed by capital campaign, which may encompass some of these projects as well.
Could draw in some of these elements.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Questions on the part of the board? Okay, are we ready to adopt this? Is there a motion to that effect? Or are we doing a motion? We're not. This is just for discussion.
Is this the first reading, or is this a motion?
It's not really the first reading on this.
No.
It's just the first reading of Appendix A.
Okay.
But even that, you talked about a bit of
before.
a preview of.
So
I think
let's just move to approve.
I second that.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yay.
Thanks for all your work, you guys.
So we'll get this out for signatures for both sides, and we'll revisit this on the regular annual
Awesome.
basis.
Yeah, I think there's a process that we'd like just every year, check in on just even the smaller projects to see if there's a cost sharing opportunity as well.
Sounds good.
Great.
Thanks
Okay.
for all the work.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
you for moving on.
Are you sure you can stay?
Technically, you're supposed to close and then start the next one. like for each of these items. Each,
okay.
like it's the public hearing area, but there's like this three
Three
public
meetings.
hearings.
Yes, okay.
So
Alright.
we're going, we should go back to the CPACER hearing.
We have to go back, so we suspended it and then close it
And then open a new one. So
Let us.
our note taker duly noted that we are now,
We are now re-entering the public hearing with respect to the CPACER, which we have actually voted upon. But now let us close that public hearing. That public hearing is closed. We now open the public hearing with respect to the fiscal year 2027 rates and fees schedule. And we're now in public hearing with respect to rates and fees. And Ellen, I want to thank you for all the work that you ended up doing with respect to this and for the summary, which was very helpful.
yes.
Any,
You know, I'll just say that, of course, it's, you know, the input and the hard work of the department heads to take a look at the areas of their rates and fees that they would like to make updates for. And you can see that in the memo that there are, you know, 3 pages worth. I think probably the areas to call out are in the ambulance fees, and we're in a bit of a transition time as we go to, you know, in the enactment of Senate Bill 245. So we are raising our ambulance fees, and they that Senate bill does allow up to 325% of the Medicare rates. Chief Gilbert felt that going all the way to the 325 wasn't what he was recommending. So these rates that you're seeing here are between about 200 and 280% of the Medicare rates. You know, one thing that's important to understand about our market is that the great majority of our ambulance runs are Medicare. So this increase in fees actually only impacts a maximum of about 25% of our ambulance runs, our claims. It really only pertains to New Hampshire private insurers. So any out-of-state insurers are not held to the SB 245, and Medicare and Medicaid are not impacted at all. I think the other area where we have probably numerous updates is in planning and zoning. A year ago, you know, the department's under new leadership, and we did many updates for 2026 rates and fees, and a pretty in-depth look was taken at these and really adjusted for the true number of hours and then the compensation rates of the individuals doing the work. So that's really captured in those rates and fees.
your memorandum says ambulance fees increase to include incremental progress toward the 325. Is there perhaps another step in coming years?
Yes, so what's interesting about this is, so I think we're in the process again of we do have to do an application design contracts to cross the finish line with the 325. But when you show you know, good faith towards moving that, we can use sort of an enhanced payment schedule. But what's happening is the state is putting the 325 in place for this fiscal year and next, and then they'll be doing a study and then more permanent rate setting will happen. So it's still in a little bit of a state of flux.
Regardless of whether we move the needle, we still have to sign the contract, and we still have, we're obligated to participate in the study. It's going to the full going to the full Medicaid amount. In previous years, we were doing a 7.7% increase.
Well, all of our current rates are above the Medicare rates, but they are not as high as they could be for the private insurers. We do a 7% increase on the per capita rates that are charged both to Hanover taxpayers as well as Lyme and Norwich. So those per capita fees went by 7%.
Those are all as per the budget.
Correct. Yep, all half.
Anything else you wanted to highlight?
Let me just my memo. I don't think so. No, I think that most of the others are in keeping with the types of changes we've made in the past. I think, again, looking at water and sewer, they, again, that's as captured in the budget. The average increase for an average residential user, $32 a year for water and $41 for sewer.
Select board members, questions on some fees?
Yeah, I have two just like small things. On page 22 for illegal U-turns, it sort of breaks the pattern for the subsequent offense that all the other offenses have. I thought it should have the same pattern. Subsequent offenses for open containers or bicycling or skateboarding are like 4 times. I just thought it was just a weird lack of pattern that I'd never noticed before. To me, I don't know if there's a rationale for that.
Triple that, he hated U-turn, especially on Main Street.
Well,
They're like they're pulling into the
uh-huh,
parking space across.
yeah, in the downtown core.
It just hurts.
And then I noticed I guess I knew the downtown, the winter parking ban is written into here, which makes sense because it's like a fine. And I never really thought about how we have a couple businesses that stay open past midnight. So I was wondering if it should start at 1:30 or if that is a problem.
We've actually come up with a resolution employed this past winter where the horseshoe portion of the parking lot back here was for parking after 12 p.m. So any employees that knew they were going to stay past the 12 p.m. or shift or 12 a.m. shift would park there. And if there were a snow emergency, we would give notice that day. So we think we have a program in place. It's not reflected in the ordinance. We're trying to walk through this to see how we did last year.
Right.
We were successful in the program.
Yeah, and then the ones over here, I guess they would maybe be in the interior of the garage.
So the interior of the garage is always available
Yeah.
in a snowstorm, but our focus is the downtown, the current core restaurants that may be open, Sawtooth, Murphy's, and the idea that that back horseshoe be available was useful.
And I was thinking in Dunks too, or, Buddy Tees.
Parking.
Yeah, the parking garage is right there.
We can't have them on street in
Yeah.
a snowstorm because that's where our.
Yeah. Okay.
With regards to the illegal U-turns, we weren't proposing any changes, but we can flag it for future discussion.
Yeah.
I just have a couple thoughts. I think the parklets should be higher. Gina, I'm the only one, me and the works are the only ones that pay this, but I still think it's too cheap.
Question. It's $1,500 per spot
No,
or four spots, yeah.
It's a bargain.
It went
It's a major bargain.
it increased by $500. So we went from $250 a space, maximum of 4 spaces, to a lump sum of $1,500.
Yeah, I think it's way too cheap. I really do. I enjoy it, but
We flagged this in our conversation. We can certainly bring it back to you, but the current fees have been paid. It would impact future year.
So we discussed this last year. I mean, when a contractor or a construction project takes it offline, it's $20 a day for 7 days a week, even though we don't pay for parking on Sundays, you know, the contract. So we're getting a deal that's $80 a day they should be paying. You know, like if you know, if it was short term, I want parklets, so that's too much. But I think I concur.
What I'll ask the downtown division to do is to reach out to other communities that charge for parklets and see what their rates are.
Yeah.
But it's a limited resource too,
Totally.
you know, so.
And we can bring it back before the start of the next cycle.
It's 6 months, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's allowed for 6 months. It's not practicable for 6 months. It's called, yeah. So we could probably shrink the time and, you know, or the parkletee cannot request it for as long, I would assume. Actually, now you can't. Now it's just a set amount. So maybe we do look at it in terms of a specific time. But we could probably shrink that down to, yeah, I was gonna say 4, maybe even less. Because early season, you know, doesn't do that much business, and late season it doesn't do that much business, except for these, you know, bluebird days. But yeah, I think it should be. My second note.
Yes.
If you want to park your car for a long time at a local storage facility, serve, which is way far out of the way, very cheap real estate, it's $213 per month. Charge $150.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's still a long wait list because
We've cleared the wait list because we're no longer holding the slot available for 30 days after it expires.
Uh-huh.
What we were doing was literally calling and saying, hey, you're expired. And then we would put a hold on it, and if they renewed.
What a service organization this is.
So yeah, I mean, if you pull into the garage, if you go down to the bottom layer, there are a lot of cars that have not moved in many, many, many years. There's one that has dust that it's wild. And it's not even a nice car either. It's like, it's a junker, and it's just been sitting there with all kinds of fun designs.
that's an interesting idea. Like that could be at a that could be in a less valuable spot.
And right now we have 2, you know, if you count the offset, 2 whole offset or 4 single levels as permanent parking. And Friday afternoon, the busiest the town ever gets. Unfortunately had to drive one of my employees to urgent care because she twisted her ankle. So I'm like, all right, come back into town. Everyone's looking for parking. Signs outside the garage that says lot full. I'm like, man, that's awesome. Lot's full. So I asked the nice lady who's working there, you know, hey, can you move the sign? Because I have a permit. She's like, absolutely. She moves the sign. I stopped counting open spaces at 60. There were 60 plus, probably 80, maybe more open spaces in the garage that we're holding for people at the cheaper that you can buy, that you can get than all serve self-storage. So I think we're doing it wrong. I think this garage we're not using it enough. We need to be charging for it in a smarter way. And getting the most use out of it as absolutely possible. Things should be full every day. Totally. Now, I'm not saying like the pull in, speed or the pay per day, the entire thing should be full every day. It just should. We're not doing it right. My fourth thought. Right now, the different rates for street parking are just by time. So we have like the 2 hour times and 10 hour. I think we should look at it by geography. There is higher demand parking in town than other spaces. So Main Street should be more expensive than some of the off streets. And right now, some of it is like that, but just because of the way that it's set up by time, but I just think there should be more graduation. So Main Street is highest demand, that should be the most expensive. As you go to the side streets, that should be slightly less. And as you get down, towards Maple, that should be even less. Regardless of the time that you hold the space or whatever. And I also think that we should consider separate rates by time of the year. I think during the summer, if you look at all like our guest counts or whatever, November through March, really into April, it's just not as busy in town. It's locals, right? It's people who live here that we want to attract people into town. And I think we can probably lower the rates during those times, and we can probably raise the rates and earn more money for the town and encourage people to move their cars and things like that during the busy times of the month, May through October.
So how do we, we have these discussions, but we
And
don't.
nothing ever
and nothing
changes.
changes because we have them.
So we were focused initially on dealing with the gradation and cap changes.
Yep.
That was approved at town meeting, working through that. We're going to deploy the new kiosk, which will enable the system that we presented. What we can do now is try to come back with a fully baked plan, present to you in August or September.
That'd be great.
Awesome.
August is like a sneeze away, so give yourself more time. But it sounds like there's some people,
Yeah.
Jared's already obviously thought hard about this. I know Jenny, you have too.
Think about parking all the time.
I didn't say that. I just said you thought hard on it.
Septage tipping fees.
Hmm?
Septage tipping fees?
We don't accept septage here.
Okay, got it. So it's no fees. All right, makes sense.
It's too concentrated a liquid take in our facility.
Yeah.
So they need to take it.
That explains that. All right, thank you. Anything else on rates and fees? No. Be prepared to take action. Someone willing to make a motion?
I move that we accept the rates and fees as proposed,
Is there a
as
second?
presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? No. All those in favor?
Fine.
Aye. That's unanimous. We are closing our public hearing on rates and fees. And we will move into business requiring discussion. CIPC, and the CIPC chair, John Nolan, is here. Thank you, John. And Rob, are you gonna put this up? Yeah, on the screen.
Put up a memo.
When memo,
Yeah.
It's here. It's just attached.
Thank you, John. Thanks for coming.
Welcome. You may not have been expecting to see me here again so soon. It's wonderful. But nice to see all of you again. You received a memo from the Capital Improvement Program Committee, which is a formal request for your guidance on what information and recommendations that you would like to see included in the Capital Improvement Program for FY28 for next year. We're making the request because we want to make sure we're meeting your expectations and also satisfying our statutory requirements we're supposed to meet, and doing all this within the capacity of a volunteer committee. Minimum requirements. So in the memo, we do review what the minimum requirements are for a capital improvement program committee according to state law, and also according to the enabling article that established our committee 3 years ago. We've now completed 3 annual budget cycles, and we've published an updated formal capital improvement for the town in 3 consecutive years. And what we have prepared follows the guidelines of the state. It's a recommended program projected over 6 years. Its purpose is to aid you in your budget deliberations. The minimum content that it requires, it's not complex. The requirement is for a classification of projects by urgency and need, and then a recommended implementation sequence. And that's it. That's the minimum required content by law. It's actually not a hard requirement to meet if the information is available to put into the plan. And we're very fortunate to have that information readily available here in Hanover. Thanks to this town staff, and in particular Pete Klobaki, the administrator of the capital asset financing plan. The other, I guess, process requirement that the law has is that the information has to be based on the town's, based on information submitted by the town's departments, which is exactly what is in the capital asset financing plan database that Pete maintains. And it has to take consideration of public facility needs for the town's prospective development. For example, as identified in the master plan. So the committee, as I've just implied, we've relied entirely on the capital asset financing process that is run by the town department heads and administered by Pete Klobaki. That process provides each year current information for capital items scheduled for implementation in the following fiscal year. Pete makes sure that it's up to date so that there is accurate information for including the following year's operating budget. And that database, the information that comes from that database, classifies projects by urgency and need, and that is manifested by the way they're scheduled. So projects that are required in soon are effectively their urgency. They're scheduled for next year. Projects that are not as urgent are scheduled in later years. And that's an implicit recommendation on what the implementation sequence for the various capital projects ought to be, according to the town staff. And they include in their consideration of the implementation sequence, things like available bond financing. There is some consideration of staff capacity to implement projects and so forth. The capital improvement program document that we publish or have published each year is effectively the output of that capital asset financing process with a few tweaks. The tweaks are, first, we compile the information in what we hope is a more user-friendly form. I don't know how many of you may have looked closely at the database Pete maintains, but it's not easily understood on first pass. So we use information he provides an extract, and that is packaged in what you see as our published capital improvement program. The another tweak that we have is that we have each of the last 3 years, we've included a formal recommendation for capital appropriations for the next fiscal year. And this isn't required, but it's something we've done because we are advising you on the budget. And we want to make sure that the items that are going to be included in the operating budget for the following year have at least had their tires kicked. So the committee has each year, well, actually the first 2 years, we looked at everything that was scheduled for implementation in the next fiscal year. That included projects and asset replacements. This past cycle, we left the asset replacements to the town staff to recommend to you. And we looked closely at major capital projects. I think we reviewed a total of 9 of them, and they accounted for altogether about 50% of the capital funds planned for expenditure over the next 6 years. Only 2 of those though were included in were actually included as a recommendation for the FY27 operating budget that you ultimately passed. We've also, another tweak is that we have asked the departments when they're describing how their proposed capital expenditures, what their proposals are, we've asked them to describe how they expect it to support the goals of the town's master plan and other stated priorities. For example, the goal of 100% renewable electricity by 2030. And then the last tweak that we've added as a committee, we've offered recommendations for improving the CIP development process. And those are things like an early start in the review of the information, hopefully one day the acquisition of an enterprise platform that can manage the data among multiple users across town departments, and so forth. So what our memo is requesting of you is how far beyond the minimum that you would like to or expect to see the capital improvement program committee go. There's only so much that a volunteer committee can do in 12 hours of meeting time each cycle. That's 12 hours, which is the cumulative total of meeting time that the committee has between July and February when we deliver our report. And I can tell you that the last 3 cycles, we have fully used our available time to prepare what we've submitted to you, the capital improvement programs that we've published. And we've been able to do that because of the support from town staff. The addition of new or extra goals for the capital improvement program beyond the minimum, to do that, our expectation, our experience is that that's going to require a change in the CIPC's role. We will not be able to do everything we've been doing in preparing the CIP to meet the minimum standard. And we may have to require or ask that more be done by the town staff in order to help us meet new goals and also satisfy the minimum requirements for a capital improvement program. So this topic has come up in discussion among the members of the committee different times and culminated with our meeting on May 21st, where we talked about specific proposals for goals for the next capital improvement program cycle. The consensus, and I hope I'm stating this precisely, of the committee members, is that the technical information on capital improvements and asset replacements provided by the departments should be taken as a given. It would not be something that the committee would scrutinize in the future. We don't have the expertise that the town staff that are proposing the different projects have, and it's not a good use of committee's consensus is it's not a good use of our time to be reviewing the design specifications, project scope and schedule, cost estimates, etc. Instead, the CIP would concentrate its available time on the prioritization of the proposed projects within the 6-year planning period. And prioritization would imply what is included, the sequence in which it would be scheduled and implemented, and so forth. What we would no longer do, and I don't think it's a problem because it wouldn't be, it's not actually a requirement, it's just something we've done. We would no longer recommend appropriations for the following fiscal year. We would not be looking at the specifics of individual projects. And what we would do is, without endorsement, identify them in the capital improvement program as investments recommended by their sponsoring departments. So what does concentrating on the prioritization of capital investments mean? Well, we have a variety of proposals that will cover that, and those are summarized in the memorandum. But they all have, let's say, all these proposals have two characteristics. They do entail some review of the prioritization criteria that town staff apply to their proposed projects and asset replacements as part of the capital asset financing process. And these proposals that we have provided, they posit that we would define and apply additional criteria that go beyond the capital asset financing plans criteria. The proposals that in our memorandum would have some similar, but there are also some that are quite different. There's a large number there. So implementation of any of the proposals summarized in our memorandum could require considerable extra work for both the committee and the town staff. And that work would include things like defining new prioritization criteria and developing scoring systems for assessing capital investments against them, creating financial models to analyze the impact of different investments on future budgets, tax rates, and staff utilization, and development of communication tools to explain the recommended prioritization of capital investments. Those would all be new activities that if they were taken on by the committee, they would be new. It well could be that some of them are already being done by town staff as part of their process of submitting proposals through the capital asset financing plan. But it hasn't been articulated that way. So the proposals, the 6 proposals in our memorandum, they reflect the answer to the question I asked CIPC members. I asked them to prepare proposals for for what they consider their ideal focus for the capital improvement program next cycle. And that's what we got. I think we have 6 interesting proposals, but they cover different priorities, even though they have similar process expectations. Now, in spite of the presence of two select board members on the CIPC, what our committee members think is ideal and what you, the select board, want to see in the capital improvement program may be very different. And that's why we're asking for your guidance. And so I'll end my remarks with our requests. Beyond the minimum required, what types of information and recommendations do you want included in the capital improvement program next year and beyond?
Thank you, John.
John, these options are so well laid out. It's a wonderful read. Thank you for doing it. We probably get good discussion. Thank you for doing it so organized, in such an organized fashion.
So to make an observation, just to get the conversation going, and correct me, John, if I mischaracterize, but the committee has moved to a 3-year time horizon. The 6-year time horizon, well, it encompasses 6 years, but the study of the first 3 years is a little more intensive. Is that correct?
Well, so the answer to that question, that may have changed. It may change depending on what guidance you provide the Capital Improvement Program Committee. And it will change if we follow the consensus of committee members that we should no longer be scrutinizing the details of particular projects. What we did this past year, we excluded from our review everything except major capital infrastructure projects. And that review covered only those that were already in the capital asset financing plan database. So there were 9 of those, and we reviewed all 9 of them. We identified 3 that the committee could not agree or reach a consensus that those 3 were ready for prime time, and they were set aside. And then the other 6, we made recommendations for those, and they covered the first 3 fiscal years of the capital improvement program. Final 3 years, we did not, just because of the time that we did not get to a close review of any of the projects in that final 3-year period. And Rob, if you have that roll up that I sent to you in Kate,
Not the packet. So I can
if you put it on the screen, that would be fine.
take a moment.
We all have it too, Joe.
You do? Oh, you do have, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, thank you. So everything from 2030 through 2032 on this roll-up, even though there is almost 27, $28 million in those 3 out years, we did not look at any of that. And what Carrie was asking was, were we going to try to do more in the future? And if we continued as we had done this past year, then yes, next time around we would go for a close review of everything in those out years. But that may not be what we do next time.
And the other thing that's interesting from an RSA standpoint is that schools can be a part of this committee. In fact, we have a school board member, and the intent, I think, is to give the town a holistic view of potential capital demands across the town, maybe encourage some collaboration, but also think about tax timing of bonds coming off, bond capacity, if you will.
Yeah, actually, it's implied, not expressly stated in proposal number 5, which focuses on communication and public understanding of the capital improvement program. But implicitly, it could bring in, include the town's capital projects. I'm sorry, the school.
Schools, yeah, yeah. Initial thoughts?
This is a, 6 proposals are a lot. It's normally, when it comes to committee work, usually committees are saying, hey, there's a lot on our plate, can we just prioritize these 2 things? And so what you're coming to us and saying, well, we've done this for a few years, we think we can do more, and you're proposing 6.
Let me state unequivocally that your guidance cannot include all of the above.
Okay, no, I understand that, but there's these 6 proposals are kind of above and beyond statutes.
They are,
And so,
they are.
and I guess my question, well, you're representing the committee, is that the committee must feel that this is a direction that you
Well, I think that
want to go into,
I
or?
think that I think different committee members bring different perspectives or expectations to the committee. And there's a general sense that they want the work that we do to be more strategic, above the details of capital projects and asset replacements. And in a way that would add value for you, the select board. Now, my expectation, my impression is that we still need to provide the minimum that the statute requires. We can do that if we aren't looking closely, if we take what comes from the capital asset financing plan, if we take it as a given and simply work with that information to do further analysis, further assessment of different projects for different prioritization perhaps in the town departments are proposing. That work will entail new activity, financial modeling of budgets and tax impacts in one case, what's I would describe as a constraint analysis in another, where we would be looking at the limitations or the external factors that would not would preclude us from implementing or pursuing these projects and investments in the order or the way the town departments might be proposing them. One would be scoring and prioritizing projects based on the master plan. That would be the North Star of whether projects or assets were prioritized or how they were prioritized. Another is talking about a streamlining exercise to make sure that all of the projects that are being brought forward from the capital asset financing plan are in fact still current, needed, and accurate. That actually, the proposal there would be to ask the town staff to do that, to do a scrubbing of their registered proposals in the current database. And then even another kind of scoring rubric was proposed for prioritizing projects according to overall priorities that the town might have. The master plan being one, but others like potential for leveraging outside funds to implement projects. So different proposals from committee members being made. When we presented our proposals to each other on May 21st, I made the point up front that we as a committee were not going to take a vote on recommending any of them. It was not a beauty contest. But it was an opportunity for each member to identify their ideal and what they would like to see added to the capital improvement program above and beyond the minimum. And then the final vote that matters is yours. We could be, all 6 of those proposals could be things that you're not necessarily as a full select board interested in having for your annual budget process development. But since we do have 2 select board members on the committee, I know that at least some of you be favoring one proposal or another.
Thank you.
So we have a homework assignment to think about this. And so you're really looking for an answer by mid-July.
By July 10th, because I'd like to have it so we can then proceed with planning for next year, starting at our July meeting. I think it's July 24th.
So we need to decide whether we're meeting on July 6th or July 13th, which we'll do shortly. So if it were July 13th, would that still
that's fine.
that would still work?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know. I thought July 6th was your next schedule.
It's TBD.
Okay.
Yes.
I just have one kind of general thought. So I sent you that model that I did, that I just put together mostly using agentic AI, that looked at what you presented several months ago, but then also overlaid changes in revenue from bonds coming offline, a lot of new housing going up on. And as I read through this, you know, there is some stuff in the state specifications that talks about sources of funds, probable revenues, and that kind of stuff. So when I think about the CIPC, you know, a major part of it is what you have outlined, which is all of these projects that are going to have to be done, or at least we think they are, and you know, in some amount of time. But many of these projects contribute to or are part of changes in value in real estate in the town, and potential for even greater change in again, new housing that's built, and potentially new ways of the town working with our stakeholders on how some of this stuff is paid for. And, you know, as we begin thinking about West Wheelock and how this project is going to be funded, I think it opens up a lot of questions about how some of these big capital things need to be planned out and kind of dealt with. And I don't feel like we have a good plan for how we're going to pay for all this stuff yet. And I would love if the CIPC started thinking about that as well. So not only looking into, okay, these are all the things that are going to cost us money, but looking at the other side as well and saying, okay, what are revenues going to look like in the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years? And potentially what changes do we have to make? You know, again, with
in taxes or revenue generation, other revenue generation.
Yes, or alternate ways of the town paying for this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because right now we don't have that, and you know, it's kind of a one-off thing for these projects when it comes to Dartmouth, helping pay for some of them. And it'd be an interesting conversation to figure out ways that we could work together better to pay for some of these big capital improvements that are gonna benefit both the town and the college.
Yeah, you know, and that may, that's an intricate, modeling exercise, that's correct. And I'm not sure that, it would be something our committee could take on and do justice to in the time we have each year, to deliver any recommendations that would be valuable. And it would be, and I think that's a discussion. I think it's part of your thinking about our request. Having a good discussion with Rob, Ellen, and Pete about what they think the town staff is capable of modeling and otherwise adding to the information mix that you're working with would be very important. The committee is not looking, I'm not looking to have the committee try to become an auxiliary staff to the town. And I also don't want to overburden town staff more than they already are. Rob has reminded me a few times that our committee takes up more staff time than anybody else. There's a balance to be struck here. We might want to have all of this information and all of this modeling and forecasting of what's required, but we might not be able to get that soon. We have to think about what we can do in the time we have, and it won't be perfect, but it will be the basis that we would have to proceed with.
Appreciate it. Intrigued sort of meta-analysis, extended over years, economic development, but I mean, a step in that direction is just to take a 6-year view, the statutory view, integrated with the school, take down the tax rate. Reminded of that they list kind of the major projects. Here's what it does.
Has he discussed that with you, Ellen?
I have it.
Yeah, yes. So I
think it was a PDF, but I translated it
to an Excel spreadsheet. So I think taking that template and sort of getting to a bottom line in terms of tax capacity, bringing in the schools, and then thinking about when there's debt relief and bonds roll off, when is that capacity?
By funding source, I'm going to flag for a moment that we will be in staff transition at some point in the near future. So cognizant of the change that we have.
Yes.
I would also add that you should look at what the town staff may already be doing. And I look at even the proposals that CIPC members put forward. For example, Pete Kolbaki is tracking in his database all the funding sources that can be identified for the various project and asset proposals. He uses that information to schedule according to when bond capacity is going to become available fiscal year by fiscal year. That information feeds the information you use to determine capital reserve fund deposits and withdrawals each year. That database is really the mother lode of all the capital information that the town has to work with. And that's a significant worry too, because it is 20th century software that I think only Pete knows how to code. And he's the only one who can, I think, manipulate it with any facility. So if the software crashes or Pete goes away, the town could suddenly find itself with no information to work with to create a capital improvement program.
Charts online with the CRFs of each CRF when it. I don't see them anymore, but.
I think they might not have continued to function the way they originally intended to do. But I confirm. But my point is, bring Pete into the discussion, Ellen and Rob, and identify or confirm things that the staff is already doing that may satisfy some of the needs that you're describing.
And I would assume Jennifer probably has an idea too of big developments that are gonna be happening over the course of the next 5 years.
The planning department's regularly forecasting based on our discussions out there. I'll point out, highlight a couple of things that we try to do, and that is rates and fees for sewer and water, look out on a 20-year horizon. So we're looking at the improvements, the cost, the capital, the debt service, and I want to make sure we look at them from the source of funding. So sewer and water stand in their own bucket. Parking district stands in its own bucket. Sure. Fire department is on the general fund, but it's a fire district. So there are elements that we need to be cognizant about when we think through this effort, because looking at the total expense doesn't necessarily give us an understanding of what each structure considers. Yeah. The other comment I'll make is we need to have a hard discussion. I'm going to put it out there tonight about whether the schools should participate if they're not submitting projects. They have a vote on the CIPC committee, and they're influencing the direction the town is going while they're not participating fully in the process. And this would perhaps be a way to incentivize them to step forward. Is there a risk, for example, that the person representing the school board is trying to hold back costs because they see something on the horizon? I'm just flagging it that way for a discussion of this body.
They maybe shouldn't be vice chair.
I think I can venture a question. Renee's not here, so but I'll try to speak for her. On the contrary, I think she wants to somehow help pull the school's capital planning into our process.
I think that would be great. I just trying to think of a different way to move the needle.
Yeah, it might be the first step might be simply to whatever their version of the list of capital projects is over at the school district. Just put that into the capital improvement program just for information. I don't think there's any other public view of it that I'm aware of, and that could get us started.
And I know there've been various attempts over the years to pull together multi-year capital plan. So I don't know where that stands currently, but from the schools.
Yeah.
So we could even invite like Tony Daigle or somebody like that from the schools to come and talk to us, just to see where that effort stands.
Yeah, because if all the things we have to do in finance, if the schools has a large, expensive list of capital improvements they need to implement, that could really compromise either entity's ability to fund everything they need to do.
But it's all coming from all of our pockets, so
Yeah.
it makes sense to have it integrated.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we've been trying many years.
Yep,
to work
absolutely.
more closely together, so this might be
bet
a
if-
great venue.
I bet if you asked people on the street what percentage of their taxes go to the schools versus the towns, they would probably have it swapped.
Swapped, and I mean, we've only recently started with Ellen and Rob really getting that out, trying to get that out there. It's, it took me like 5 years on the board to figure it out, so I'm a really slow learner. But no, I mean, it's true, it's like, wait a minute. When you look at these like 2 3/4% increase or whatever our tax increase was compared to the school increase, it's like.
Well.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not gonna put on my finance committee hat today.
Your children.
We've got the AI universe.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
John, in the interest of, well, Are you available, say on July 14th?
Sure,
Yeah, all right, well, let's talk, we'll talk about
yeah.
next steps, but we realize you have a timeline. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate all the work you've done, John.
In a few weeks, make a decision, is that the plan?
Trying to give
Try.
some guidance as to what we think the focus should be.
That'll help us greatly.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Good evening.
Night.
Great. Next up is Bressett Funds request for Nihonmatsu Sister City Program. Yes.
We received an application
Yes, okay, all right.
for an annual contribution of up to $4,000 for 5 years, understanding that it'll need to be reviewed on an annual basis to ensure that there is an appropriation in that fiscal year. Staff has reviewed it in accordance with the guidelines that the board has adopted and has found that it complies with the recommendations, the requirements, and is recommending the approval of this. It's under discussion at this time. If you were to approve it, it would go to the trustees of the trust fund for their consideration at their next meeting.
Which is Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning
Yes.
at the Howe.
Yes. Sure.
I just wanna- My only discussion is that, you know, Nihonmatsu is our sister city. We've been sisters for 25 years, maybe even longer. It all started with Dartmouth. And Dartmouth is, you know, it's been a partnership with Dartmouth. And I guess I'd like to make sure that that partnership continues and that the town does not assume costs associated with hosting the community, because it's a really, I mean, it's a great thing. And you know,
So we've had a number of meetings. I've been kind of spearheading this, but we have a member of the coordinator. She's terrific. So she's been putting together some of these meetings as well. So yeah, we have participation from the Department of Asian Societies, Cultures and Languages, ASCL, and also the Department of Government Affairs. And they are contributing, I would say, in the neighborhood of $2,700. So it's kind of a third, but also the time of those individuals will be participating if we can. So it's a joint venture. It's been a little bit of a shift toward the town, but I think it's a healthy dynamic.
When are we going there?
So
some people, a number of people went there, but none of the select board went in the most recent
We
trip.
were invited.
Yeah, no, we were invited.
it was 2019. That was the 20th anniversary. So
27 years.
We were invited. Nobody.
None of us could pull it off. But a number of Dartmouth people, their school did. Pardon me?
I went to Joigny that year.
Great, because it was a big celebration. This principal of the race school went.
Yeah, you're right.
And a number of people from Dartmouth.
Yep.
Whatever.
and the Dartmouth the LSA program, they typically go to Nihonmatsu for a long weekend, so that happens every year. So there's that element as well. So. Right.
I move to approve funding for the Nihonmatsu Sister City program in an amount not to exceed $4,000 for FY 26 through 30, subject to annual review and reporting on program outcomes.
It's 4,000 annually, right?
Annually, yep, it's trust funds, yep. Okay. Second, any further comment, questions? No, all
I
these-
just wanna make sure that it's $4,000 annually for those 4
It
years.
is
That's not the motion, right?
I'll modify my motion to not to exceed $4,000 annually for FY 26 to FY 30.
Office, you accept the amendment.
I don't know. Just gonna write the first.
Alright.
Alright, yeah, we need to do that.
It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous. Okay. Next up is select board calendar developments.
What?
Calendar development.
What?
When are we gonna meet?
Supposing you take the end of July and the beginning of August.
Second that.
And you need to decide what day in July you meet and what day in August you meet. And then consider when you want to have a retreat.
So let's focus on the July and August. July 6th or 13th, August 17th or 24th. Just looking at select board members. Are there any of those that don't work? I'll put one on the table. I can't make August 17th. So I prefer the 24th, but if one of us misses a meeting, it's not the end of the world. Ellen, thank you so much.
Good night, Ellen.
I know.
So my preference is the 24th, but again, it's what works for the most people.
Good, you like the 24th
For August, yep.
of August?
Sorry. This is August 24th, or
I'm like kind of equally unsure about 17 or 24, so I'm neutral.
Okay.
For those,
so,
I may be out of town.
okay. But either week you might be out of town, so it's.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's not
24's fine.
24th, Rob, you're good with those dates, okay, so let's pencil in with a number, with a strong pencil, 24 August. Does that have a bearing on July 6th or 13? In other words, if we wait till the 24th, is there a preference to go a little later in July just for the continuity of select board meetings? Because otherwise the gap is quite large, it's like 6 weeks, but maybe not. I think the town manager thinks it's fine. So
We're supposed to be what?
Supposed to be away on the 13th.
you're supposed to be on the 13th, okay. I can make either one work. So that's a vote in favor of 6. Those, are you around for both? 6/13, July,
Checking.
checking.
6 is fine. 13, we're out of town. I mean,
Okay, so we got 2 out of towns on the 13th, so the 6th is looking better.
July 6th is fine.
Jenny,
I think the 6 is fine.
all right, so seems like 6 and 24. September 29th, I think that's supposed to be the 28th, rather than the 29th, that's the Monday. Town manager notes, there was no second select board meeting in September last year. However, we did have 2 retreats, Rob. I know.
September.
Yes. So the select board retreat penciled in on September 14 is reviewing the objectives and key results that was coming out of the retreat last year. So if we were to have that at a select board meeting, we would ideally have the select board retreat earlier than that. And I'll put forward Thursday, September 3rd or Thursday, September 10th for a retreat as prompts for discussion.
I'm away on the 10th. Did you say 3 or 10?
September 3 or September 10, both Thursdays. So the week of September 10, earlier that week, we do have the votes, the primary. So we may be working the polls on Tuesday.
Oh, geez.
But that's
Really?
the 8th, September, or the 8th, it's the 8th, yeah, 8th.
You better write that down.
I'm probably out of town for that. I miss, gosh, the primaries just don't show up on the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So, but it sounds like that week's not great for us. So Thursday, September 3rd, is that something that could potentially work for folks?
I could do that.
I'm out of town that week.
Oops.
Zoom in.
No idea we were thinking of doing this.
We do, what we've been doing kind of morning through lunch, that we've been doing.
September looks really bad for daytime. I didn't see an open day, except for the 22nd.
Wow. I thought you were easing
I am pulling
into-
back.
I thought you were pulling back.
Way pulled back. but
Oh,
we're,
okay. You're away.
Except for apparently September. I don't control my schedule completely, as
Yeah,
other people do.
We could move the OKR review to the September 28th meeting.
Yes. So why don't we circulate some other dates for the retreat and just keep going on the calendar?
I mean, the week of the 24th, you don't know. Of August. Could do something, I could do 27th of August if you wanted to.
27th of August? So-
CIPC schedule.
Okay. You can send other dates around. I could do the
We could
28th
certainly
too.
move that.
And I could,
It could.
does it, could be Friday morning?
Yes, it can.
No, oh, no, right, 27th is fine, Thursday's fine.
So if we bumped the CIPC, so that would be, what day?
27th.
27th? Is that a possibility for folks? August 27th,
Daytime?
Thursday, daytime?
Yeah, 28th.
You could do the 28th. It's the Friday. Yeah, okay. 28th? Okay, let's put down August 28th. Retreat.
What, 8 to noon, is that what you said? Approximately, it doesn't matter, approximately.
Something like that, yep.
So somewhere really fun.
Yeah.
Nihonmatsu.
Yes, okay.
Too long flight.
All right, thank you for developing the calendar, May 11th, next year, town meeting. Listen, we just did it. One correction on the, oh, no, happy dance over here.
Still got
What happens on that day, Joanne? Wow.
No, I'm just expressing my joy at summer approaching.
May 4th, I think is meant to be May 3rd. Just on the copy. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Unless there's anything else on the schedule? No? Okay. Let's move on.
Just inside, when are we doing the select board meetings in summary over the summer?
July 6th and August 24th, and the retreat on August 28th.
July 6th. And August 24th.
Yes. Okay.
Last year, we had some Mondays that were holidays and that had moved them at the last minute, I'm not remembering which ones they are.
I believe we captured everything in this calendar.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't think about it till now, but.
Can you,
Your calendar invites.
oh, that would be amazing, but no, I was just thinking that it would be bad to have primary, election day, any like other commitments that we have to have as part of this schedule.
We can,
That would be great.
Yep.
I shouldn't know it off the top of my head, but now I know September 8th, primary and was it third or something?
Usually November 4th, but no, it changes, does it?
Yeah, it changes, it's the Tuesday,
Yeah, it's Tuesday, so,
so it's November 3rd. There may be 30 on here, so. Anyway.
Thank you, thank you, Rob. Should we move on to employee recognition?
Absolutely. We have one person on their 5-year anniversary, David Brown from DPW. However, I do want to highlight some key members, given their tenure. Janice Grady, 38 years. Josh Lonsberry, 17. Karen McCuster, 21 years. And Sarah Molesworth, part-time librarian at Aetna, 12 years.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So it's my thanks and congratulations to them for to everyone for their service. Their longevity is appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you. Review of OKRs.
Jared taught me something. What's the command, Jared, to go full screen?
I already forgot, my
No.
kids always tell me.
No. We need that, call a friend.
That's all right.
It's tricky and messy.
Then you have that you're fighting, but it doesn't
Sign
line
up.
F11.
I just shrunk. So,
Great.
11.
What's bigger? It's definitely bigger.
Where do you see 11 on your keyboard?
Function F11 on the
F11.
top row.
Oh, okay. Way up there. All right. Thank you.
Just try to not function in F11. There you go. Like that.
Brilliant. I need it. All right. Can you make it really big?
So I can read it. I'll just look on this one.
I think we need a bigger TV.
That was
We
like
do.
Rachel Dratch. Do you see the?
Yeah, it's like a-
I need to shrink it up.
She could read the teleprompter.
Oh, really?
Because when you graduate in 88,
Yeah.
the font's too big, too small.
Okay, so this is the objectives and key results for fiscal year 26. There is an attempt to score this with a check mark being complete, a sand timer meaning partially accomplished, and a square meaning yet to do. This was kind of a first pass at this, but select board members feel free to discuss. Sustainability coordinator, obviously not filled, but that's not for lack of trying to fill the position. So hence the sand timer. So take a look at this. Really, I think if you look at this in its totality, and you can even scroll down a little bit, Rob, I mean, we've made progress against quite a few. And I think that's a testament to all of the hard work of staff led by our town manager. Thank you. The one area with a lot of boxes is affordable housing. That's no surprise. We've talked about that. And we've now put forward a workforce housing committee, which will hopefully help us get this off the ground and make traction. It's the single area.
We've
You have a subcommittee ready to not be nominated. I'll present that in our next.
excellent.
MOU for the library, we did that today, checked off. But really quite a bit in terms of progress across various fronts. So thank you, Rob. Any specific questions as you look at this list?
Yeah, for the second one, I was wondering, I mean, I had in mind that we would like finish either the housing study or the missing middle housing study or the form-based codes and maybe have more outreach. And I'm not sure that happened. So I don't know what,
You'd recommend it be changed from a check to an hourglass.
yeah, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
And then, feel like there was a presentation on Crosby, but I don't think that was done. So that's, I think, gotta be an hourglass.
Develop a plan for the Crosby Street, and do we not have a plan?
We have a draft plan. I received feedback from the board. We're working with the design team to incorporate the design elements that we received. I broke them into 3 buckets. Consider the raised intersection of Wheelock, consider a continuous grade sidewalk, consider determine whether or not a raised intersection is appropriate in all solution.
Books, Crosby Street. Check mark, hourglass.
It's in progress.
So our
We would do hourglass. How strong? Hourglass, okay. Okay, you okay with that?
I think if we're going with hourglass on number 2, then I would support a check mark on number 7.
You would go with the check mark.
What else?
Okay.
Don't ask me.
Okay.
So we've been exploring options about Connecticut River access.
I have, yes. So
That's exciting.
we're in discussions with Kendall right now. We have a 20-year license. We're completing the 10-year. After 10 years, it can be terminated by either side for 1 year's notice. We're looking to develop a plan where the town has the potential to own it and guarantee access. So that's underway as we speak.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's really,
That is
that's
so huge.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
It's not an additional access, but we're
Yeah.
locking it up.
Well, it's been the rental deal. That was always like tried
Unfortunately,
out, but
yes, sorry. Unfortunately, the ED is leaving as of September 11th.
can you get that done before then?
So we will be working with the new director that's been teed up for the new director to deal with, but we're looking at how we can address their wants and needs and address the other user groups' desires there and permanently protect that property of the town. So that's one of our approaches.
This is when we've got a conservancy and a Upper Valley Land Trust that's premium real estate that we should be.
Well, in addition though, I mean, I drive by there all the time, as you know, it's used every day by community members, not only.
And Kendall uses it a lot.
And they have an interest of having access to it, so we're actually in a planning stage that would Parks and Recs are looking at coming up with a plan that will be presented to this board in September and be the foundation for a working group to try to navigate the next discussion.
It's a heavily used, high priority item, yeah.
I would agree with that. I mean, the deal that was struck was very beneficial to Kendall, very, very beneficial to them. And I think it's been a good partnership for years, so I can't believe it's been 10 years. Can you believe it's
Has it really been 10 years?
Next year.
Crazy.
Holy camole.
And then I guess the other, when we're thinking about new places, there's like Big Brook by the river trail, and then potentially if there's ever a river promenade on that side, yeah.
Riverfront Park,
the Riverfront Park, yeah,
we're working on it,
yeah. But the brook,
but it
And
won't be river access. It'll be a view shed access. You can't really get to the where the parking's
maybe Pine Park, there's see people swimming there now.
good.
I guess we'll make it up.
Yeah,
Storage Pond
but
is
that's
awesome.
not, yeah, that's not really
Storage Pond.
goal access, but the Mink Brook River Trail seems,
Down by the
It could-
kiosk, where the,
yeah, I mean, I know there's the canoe wrecks up, further east on Mink Brook.
on the other side.
Yeah.
Those are
Conservancy.
on the Conservancy.
Yeah, so it would be nice to have, I mean, we have an accessible trail access. It's one of the really accessible activities. Kayaking, one of, yeah,
So what I hear you saying is we want to have improved river access for hand launches.
Yeah.
I'm teasing it out a little bit, so because we have river access there. We own the corridor.
yeah, but it's not really,
You have to paw your way through to get your canoe in.
it's not quite simple to put your canoe in. I mean, even if it was just a 3-foot floating dock or permission for neighbors to put in a dock.
I now understand the ask.
Yeah,
And we will, when we go through the select board retreat, if the board is willing to, again, look at the OKR lenses, some of these things could resurface or so anyway, but looking through any other, I don't want to spend too much time, we do have other things we need to talk about, but anything else that through here, select board members have a reaction to?
I guess similar question, are we developing a capital plan for the sidewalk and transit? Explicitly? That's about an hourglass right now.
That could be, should that be a square?
And there's stuff in the capital plan that relates to mobility, but it's not specific to that. I mean, it's not a plan. That's what we had identified.
Correct. It's kind of like, yeah, there's a whole system right now too.
To answer your question, we're not developing a specific app. Integrating it into the broader. And I know your comment.
So it should be a square.
Okay.
Hydrant Park construction started today.
Yes.
So it's gonna move fast.
That's good.
Good, that's great.
And the things for the concrete pile, dwellings and.
It's less than 4 weeks for the.
For the ribbon cutting?
No, but it's gonna move really fast. And we're gonna see if we can expedite the benches and the turf so that within 6 weeks, the whole thing, phase 1, including the benches and turf.
Fantastic, that's great.
Gotta buy my paper.
We're gonna sell quick now.
I know, they're gonna sell out. I'm gonna have to get it quickly. I don't know what to rate on it though. For me,
Explore HanoverNH.com.
QR code on the
on the poster.
Buy our paper. Continue.
Okay, anything else? Looking down this list, select board members.
Wait, where are we, what section are we talking about?
Well, I think we're kind of gone into fiscal. There's anything that strikes you as different than as designated, speak up.
Is the community software called Diligent?
Diligent
That's
is the type.
Deny.
The yeah, that's like an interesting, I think this is probably a longer conversation, but the support the board, like the goal to support the board and committees through technology. Not sure what we do for that, but I still hear like a lot of the similar some frustrations, people don't know how to deal with their personal emails or and people who visit committees are often frustrated that they can't find information. So those are
So
sort
I
of
think,
ongoing.
I think we have a learning curve. Diligent now has all the minutes and they're searchable in total. So you can query anything, any topic you want, and it'll go through all the minutes.
Oh, it has all the minutes for all the committees now?
Well, we migrated
Or boards?
all the select board minutes there, but I think we migrated everything there. I'll verify that.
Okay.
But they're now searchable PDFs. I think one of the things that we need to start doing is giving some training to our community or do a training video that we can post how to use Diligent. We are looking at technology that would help the boards with minutes. And I think that planning board, zoning board, and select board need a formal minute taker because it's a very different type of body. But an online software package is being tested currently by several communities and they like it. And we would have the opportunity to move in that direction with a demo initially. So we're considering that at this time.
Thank you. So what I'd like to propose, this, for the benefit of our listening audience, so this is an element that's also in the town manager review. We're going to be discussing that in our non-public. So I would like to take any further comments as a part of that process, that part of the broader process in terms of scoring the OKR. This will surface again. And I'd like to move on to, we have a couple more items. One is the advocacy team recommendations consider for the 2 letters. And we need motions and the letters are here, I think, right? We got signed. Yep. Okay, you want to walk us through that?
Sure. So actually, I didn't see them in there.
Did you not see them in there? Okay. I don't think
There
there
were a
were.
million other things, so.
So maybe for signature later.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's about 100 things signed by all of us, by the way.
100.
Okay, easy. Pretty.
I need an auto pen.
As I believe all of you received an email from the New Hampshire Municipal Association Advocacy Team requesting your support. The first one addresses the risk pool. The health trusts in particular would benefit from this change. The risk pool just to function the way it currently exists to support this legislation. The second is a recommendation to oppose House Bill 340. House Bill 340 relates to electioneering. It includes punitive fines of $1,000. And really raises the bar for how we as individuals and bodies can present information to the electorate. For example, we go through this budget hearing process And then I take the budget on the road and present it to places like Kendall. And I am representing that this is endorsed by the select board. Question is that an election year? And that's a challenge. And so the letters are in draft in the packet. We'll get them finished up for your signature. I thought they were ready. They're in the packet. They didn't make it to the signature file. So we'll get them, unless there's edits that the board would like, we'll have them in the packet. I'll have Kate reach out to you and let you know for signature.
Okay, terrific, thank you.
I would ask that you
Do we
vote.
move to,
yes.
yeah, I move to, send both these letters, sign and send.
Second.
Thanks.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So it's supporting bill for HB 1491 and opposing bill HB 340.
I just put away.
Okay, we have approval of late notification donation from December.
Statutorily, we're obligated to take this extra effort and disclose that they were received but not accepted in the consent agenda, so they're here as a standalone item. We ask that you accept these from tonight.
Okay, is there a motion to that effect?
I move to accept the Etna Library donations from James Block and Janet Lippert in the amount of $100, and a donation from Perry and Elizabeth Cantlin in the amount of $100.
Thank you. Second. Second, all right. With our appreciation, all those in favor? Aye, thank you. Advisory Board of Assessors recommendations, and I'm going to turn this over to Joanna to discuss the motion language.
So the advisory board of assessors met on May 20th and then again last week to review quite a number of abatement requests. And we have a motion, and in fact, for the May 20th meeting, I actually wasn't there, but I can make the motion as a select board member, I guess.
I recuse myself.
You're gonna recuse yourself for the May 20th this year. Yeah, so I'll move that the select board approve the recommendations by the advisory board of assessors from the May 20th meeting. We get a second.
Jared seconds. All those in favor?
One second, wait.
Okay.
Approve or accept?
Approve the record.
Okay.
Approve the recommendations. So the advisory board,
I see the new one.
we accept the
We don't
recommendations.
approve, we accept.
Yes.
I think
You approve, this body ultimately approves the abatements.
okay,
So we're approving the abatements now. These advisory board sends them to us.
okay.
So it's approved. Okay. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Refusal? Yep. Okay.
Recused by Jenny.
Yep.
And
Okay.
so last week we went through, we had a few left over from May 20th, and then we had quite a couple hours worth of review. Pretty thick stack that we went through. Yeah.
What do you think wrote all that?
Mostly people who were above the average of 44%. You know,
Oh.
their taxes went up by 70%
Yeah,
or
okay.
more, and questioning. And, you know, I think our assessing team did a good job at explaining to those who came in and or provided additional information, kind of explain the rationale and kind of the tool that it was used. And some people were like, well, I want to see the data. I want to see what went in, and so they met with them. So, and then people who don't. So essentially, if you don't get the abatement that you want by July here, as of July 1, you can appeal to the DRA.
Bureau of Tax and
Bureau.
or Superior.
You can do that. So I'll move that that we approve the recommendations by the advisory board from the draft June 10th meeting. All those in favor or any comment?
I was just surprised about their exempt organization.
Yeah, it's been one of the biggest, the most time, a lot of time has been spent discussing what are exempt and what aren't exempt. And we have policy, but it is,
Yeah, that's why they did file and then, I don't understand I don't know what the Wheelock House does, so I don't really get it, I don't know. Could you speak to that though?
Yes.
What happened with that, if it went?
so the Willock House is a faith-based housing facility. If they file the request before April 1, I think is the deadline. The assessing team looks at the paperwork to see if it meets the policy, and they'll grant it. Usually, if I have this correct, if I have this right, if they're collecting rent, that is taxable, but the common spaces within the building exempt. So that's how they've.
But this Superior Court case for 25, how does that, that's just about the split, or?
They have chosen to take their tax deal this year.
Oh, okay.
And they filed before. Instead of filing for
They just went right away.
Oh, they just didn't file. Do we need? But everybody understands the process, right? They've been doing this for years.
their attorney sits on their board. So they understand, they absolutely understand the process. They did have conversations with our attorney, had conversations with our assessing team.
Oh, okay. And they just decided to go that way.
Looks straight.
All right. Thank you.
I do want to point out that 72 abatement applications in a reval year is not too bad.
Does it compare to 400?
No, it doesn't, when we have special sessions.
Unfortunately, it was compressed. The window of review was compressed for a host of reasons. We've learned some logistical issues that we'll address in the future.
So we have a motion on the table.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Recusals?
Recusal.
The motion passes with one carry Callahan. Easy.
Yes, thank you. Dog warrants.
Oh.
Oh, yay.
Hey. Did you want to highlight your favorite names?
This wants to speak.
No, I really don't want to call people out,
The dogs, not their people.
well, well, there's some interesting things. There's a few repeating ones. There's a bunch of really wonderfully creative ones. No, I'm not going to call anybody out, but not call them out, highlight them. But it's I think it's this sort of
Dog has a good name.
I think.
there's so many yeah, dogs are important. That's about all I can say.
Okay, all right. Thanks about this. Is there a motion? Okay.
Go ahead.
Move to approve town clerk's recommendation to issue the 2026 dog warrant, RSA 46614. Second? Second. Jared seconds.
And you know, we should know, I know a couple of, some of these dogs have passed away, so I just forgot.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Consent agenda, we have the minutes of June first. And further donations to the library. Is there a motion to
What do we do?
consent agenda?
Oh. I move the consent agenda.
Second. I'll second. All in favor?
Aye. Thank you to Jerry and Pat Balcom for $100 donation to Hanover Library.
Terrific. Okay, thank you. Select board reports. Report.
There was a Conservation Commission meeting last Wednesday. It was outside. I couldn't make it, and I heard it was pouring too. Jenny, did you make it?
Yeah, there's thunder and lightning as well.
I kind of got out of work like halfway through it, and I decided, there's lightning in the air. I heard from John Trummel that they held it. I don't know what they did though. I apologize.
They were by the big rock.
So this is
they-
a test.
They were hiding.
We mentioned this, not with respect to the last Conservation Commission meeting. There is a test. We have 1 million miles of knotweed along Big Brook, sort of that Greensboro Road corridor. And there's a trial of trying to mechanically remove knotweed with volunteer effort, starting at the Big Rock, which is at the Mink Brook Community Forest near the parking lot of the trails. So, I really like it. We'll get more information on how that trial is going in the future.
Did, since it's Conservation Commission related, do you want to just take a moment and explain what's happening with the DMAP?
Sure.
Oh,
So,
yes, thank you.
As you may recall, it was this time last year when the board received a presentation for expanding the DMAP. The deadline for the application is
Can you
still
explain what the DMAP
is deer management
Deer
area.
map.
The deer management area plan. And the request was to expand it to the town boundaries, subject to authorize those landowners who authorize use of their lands. As I expressed at the last year in June, the window was too short to accomplish anything that would be meaningful because we have to submit an application every year to demonstrate the needs for the program based on impact to the forest, whether it's deer browse or tick population or other impact to native species. So we directed the planning department last year to work with the Regional Planning Commission and to develop a map that would be flexible. Donnie Cutter and his team secured signatures for large parcel holders on the backside of Wolf's Mountain, expanding the area to the town line where appropriate. That application will be filed for the July 1 deadline, I believe. That's what we're shooting for. So, and this effort will enable future properties to be added with landowner permission. That's underway. There's a pending request from one individual of the deer team who would like a new committee designated as the Deer Team Committee, not a subcommittee of the Conservation Commission, to brainstorm how to improve the removal of deer in Hanover. I'm not an advocate of that. We don't have the resources to staff an additional committee. State regulates the hunting, permitting it. The deer DMAP program seems to be the appropriate tool. Best thing we could do is to encourage them, which I have in a meeting 2 weeks ago, to expand the landowner authorization. Unless there's something else out there that I'm not familiar with, I'm not sure what other levels we can pull at a town level.
I don't know if this is almost certainly not what this person had in mind, but in thinking about best practices, and I know the state has various regulations, but I think we want to also maybe think about a butter notification, like defining a safe shot or a safe shot zone and what that means, and potentially adding other buffer zones that aren't in the law, like, you know, multi-use paths or sidewalks, because everything's in reference to the road, or school zones. You know, so I think there are some best practices out there that are not exceedingly onerous, that are sort of very practical. And we just want to, if this is gonna move forward, we want to think through those. Anyway.
Duly noted, I'm not sure how we go about imposing standards that are different than the state's hunting rules, the laws. And I mean that the properties that we're getting signature for only authorize the extra tag fee. They can still be hunted in a regular basis today without any special notice. So they can be open to hunt today. What they're enabling is the extra tags.
My understanding is
So you're
if
thinking,
it's moving within the downtown, that changes. That there's other local control you're allowed to add that are separate, but.
for the DMAP, I'll need to look at it, but I'm not aware of any extra restrictions. What I do know is the urban compact here, shouldn't refer to it. There is a restriction on where you can use a right.
Yeah.
And that restriction's expressed in state law.
My thought is that a lot of the public would be very uncomfortable to know that their neighbor could allow an archer to shoot a deer in their yard when they live downtown. If they were next door, and we would want to maybe define what happens if there is a stray arrow and it hits somebody's house or it hits somebody, you know, I just don't see a lot of people in this town being really enthusiastic about that.
I don't know, you don't know some of these hostile.
No, I think a lot of people are excited, and a lot of other people would be not excited, so.
Really in the past.
Yeah.
Jenny,
Yeah.
the thing with this though is that all this does is enables you to have 3 extra tags. So this doesn't change state law in terms of how close you can be to a development. This doesn't change any of the rules around hunting. All it does is enable hunters who are
Already
very committed to hunting deer to be able to hunt more. And so.
Okay, that's not how it's explained to me. It's explained that the DMAP area itself would change.
Yes, it does. But that's all the DMAP does is basically like anybody, you know, you take hunter safety, you get your hunter's license, you can hunt anywhere, you know. Again, you have to have permission if you know, landowner permission if you want to be within 300 feet of a dwelling.
Well, right now you can't get that permission downtown.
But DMAP doesn't change that. All DMAP does is allows people to hunt.
I thought it allows archers to do that, and that's
You can do
how
it.
Barbara and David.
Yeah, but if you get your hunter's license, you can still, the same rules apply. The only thing that DMAP does is it allows people to use those extra tags in certain areas. So,
Yeah, it's just like it seemed that those certain areas would expand.
right, yes.
The downtown, there's no change to that area. We're growing it towards the Enfield Canyon.
Okay,
So there's the ask has been.
okay. What was shown to me was that it was gonna be over the entire town, including the downtown. And
That's the downtown map remains unchanged. The DMAP for the core remains unchanged. We're adding out to the Canyon, Enfield, line borders. Before.
Gotcha.
There was an arbitrary scribe of line around the reservoir area in, and the ask has been to extend it beyond that.
Let's keep going with committee reports. I don't have anything, Joanna.
Sustainable Hanover's meeting here on Wednesday morning at 8:30. They usually go till 10:30, and trustee of the trust fund meeting at the same time at the Howe Library. And I don't have, the Howe Library meets next Thursday afternoon. I don't think there was any. Oh, well, the assessors met and spent a couple hours on the 10th to review. Total of 72 abatements.
Thank you. Jen?
Yeah, the planning board approved something town staff had been working with Dartmouth on, which is a new 12-foot path from College to Crosby along East Wheelock. And this is the Dartmouth planners taking advantage of the Geo Exchange project to seize the moment to add these improvements. So that will allow basically scooters and bikes to be off the road and on this path that's for the most part wider than our shared use path along Lime Road. So it's just a section from basically the hop to the intersection by the athletic gym.
Which side of the road?
It's on the south side of the road. And with that improvement, they'll also be adding accessibility access around Wilson's Hall. You'll see like there's like ramps set up right now, and that will be integrated into that plan.
Nice.
That will be, the surface will be different than a multi-use path. It'll be concrete with the idea that we're trying to get this multi-use path or shared use path is concrete yield to pedestrians is kind of the motto and the education that we're going to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty, I think, I forget what it goes. I think you yield, it's like pedestrians, horses, then bikes, right? Usually or something.
Motorized scooters, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole hierarchy.
In other words, slow down, don't hit anyone.
Yeah. The other kind of exciting news was that there were two things happened with that house scale overlay. There was an approval for just a minor subdivision. Doesn't sound that exciting. And there was an approval for a unit. Somebody converted part of their house into a unit, and that was both allowed by the house scale overlay. And so those went through extensive discussion with the planning board, multiple visits and meeting with town staff, but like to try to work through all the issues, but those were approved at the last meeting. So that was just exciting that was in action. And then I actually got in the mail today, in case anybody wants to see, Junction Arts Media put out their impact report of some of the good that they're doing, and it's kind of cool. And when's the next planning board? We did have a quorum on Hanover Block, but nothing like to report. Summer is upon us.
Your planning board meetings the first Tuesday
In July, okay.
so that would be seven.
Yeah, so not quite yet.
And I believe that's a training session.
Okay.
Cool. Great. Okay, Rob, unless you have anything else, I think that's the meeting. Yes, we need it. Okay.
I move we move into non-public to discuss items pursuant to RSA 91:1:3, Roman numeral 2, A, B, D, E, L. Yes.
Second, roll call.
Gracias, yes.
Callahan, yes.
Pitkin, yes.
Chamberlain, yes.
All right.